Hey guys, this is Steve with Great Brother Lure Company. So I've had a lot of people ask me to do this test, and I'm just going to do it. First off, before I say anything, we're going to be doing a test between our Great Brothers Lure Company baits against Googan Baits. You know, the Googan guys, I got a lot of respect for. You know, as a team that they've introduced fishing back to the youth, bringing the youth back into it. See more young guys and young gals fishing than I have ever. But here's the thing that's besides the point. I just want to lay that down. What I'm doing today is trying to see what all the hype is between Googan Baits and comparing to ours. So two things I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a float test. See how these baits look. I'm taking the rod, the reel, the string, the everything. I'm taking the angler out of it, and we're just going to test just the baits. After I do that, I'm going to do a break test. I'm just going to show you with my hands which one breaks more. Then I'm going to give you my opinion. So what baits I got is I got our crawl, our bucktail, and our trick worm versus their bandito bug, slim shake worm, and kraken crawl. I'm not trying to cop them in color, smell, or anything about that. That has nothing. If they were clear baits, that's all that would matter to me. I'm just looking at what it looks like in the tank of truth. So, I'm going to go ahead and just say, let's do the Googan bait first. So this bait that I got right here, I'm going to just toss it in. If I hit the wall, I'm going to grab it, but I'm going to try not to. And then after that, I'm going to go with our trick worm. Basically, it has the same jigs. I gave the worm like a Ned rig jig. It just makes more sense to do it that way. Just makes it so that it's an even playing round. So let's start. Go the slim shake, you know, still's got the same movement and whatnot. It's roughly, there's just a little bit longer, about a ½ inch, maybe an inch. I'm not tape measuring that. We're just going to go with that. So let's just do a toss test of the slim shake worm. Immediately false. I dropped it, fail. Now let's take a Gray Brothers trick worm. Look at that. So ours is staying up. Let's see this action that they talk about. We got that wave. Let's see theirs. Yeah, it's on the ground. Now, I'm going to do it again. The reason why I'm going to do it again is I'd rather see if it's me. Look at that. It's still moving with the wave. I'm going to see if it's me or if it's Googan. Let's see. Let's go again. Slim shake Googan worm. And it's going false. Gray Brothers trick worm. Staying up there wiggling. I like to do it 3 tests because 3 tests, then it takes away all of it. Last time, right here. Googan Baits, slim shake worm. False. Gray Brothers. Right there, right where it needs to go. Now, I'm going to set these right here. All the way at the other end. Here, I'll even try to place it as it's leaning. Next, we're going to try Googan Baits Kraken Crawl versus a Gray Brothers Crawl. I got the same jig head on it to give it the same advantage. Exact same. Let's go again. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to do a toss test because I just want to make this as much even as possible. There's a Googan Baits. Right there. It's being held up by the hook. Gray Brothers. Sitting there floating. See the action on them? We'll see the action over here. I even moved that. Oh, failed the worm. That's still sitting there. Let's do a second toss. Googan Baits, crack and crawl. Gray Brothers, crawl. That thing just hopped on the crack and crawl and stayed. I'm gonna do it again. Let's do this again. Googan Baits, crack and crawl. Gray Brothers, crawl. Look at that thing move. I'm floating and moving with it going down on the jig head. All right. I'm going to set this over there. I'm going to set this over there. Oh, mine finally failed. Let's do that again. I think it's because of that. All right. The last bait I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Bandito bug. This is one of Googan Baits' top choice right now versus our bucktail. They don't look anything alike, but I think that this is pretty much what they were going after, and the same thing. So let's go throw Googan Baits. Old bucktail. I fail. Mind you, these do have pegs. Bucktail. Googan Baits. That one failed that time. So we're 1-1. Let's do this. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to move this over here. Googan Baits, I'm going to throw them first. I don't stab myself. Googan Baits. Bucktail. It didn't land on the right side because this is a round head. There we go. One thing I want to show is, come on over here. If you notice, this is how I know those are round heads. I didn't have any extra flat heads to make it fair. So if you notice, if it wasn't for those things, those flanges want to follow those big ones where mine don't want to. But I will say, noticing the Bandito bug floats more. Let's do the test one more time just to be sure. Come on back here, Tasha. Googan Baits. All right. Bucktail. So mine is definitely floating. Problem is it's not a flathead. But on a second note, let's do this. Because of this bait, to make this more fair, because this thing is just all round, no flat on it, I'm going to take a Googan Bait. I don't have two of those same jigs. Let's do this. This is a flathead. I'm not even going to screw it. Let's do the Googan Baits first on a flathead jig. Because I want to make this clear. So I think it's that I got a fancy rig up set up with that. I'm just gonna roll it just like that. Okay, so there's a Googan bait, bandito bug. All right, flathead jig. With the flathead jig, let's do this one more time. All right, falls right there. Come over here, look at this, Stefan. If you notice, it's completely 100% on the ground. Okay, let's take the bandito bug. Bucktail, I'm gonna do the same thing. I could thread it, but I'm not trying to make this video like 20 minutes. Same thing, not on the spring, just a normal jig. Now, you see me use the same jig on both those. What is mine doing? Mine's floating. Let's throw that again. Bucktail. Now that we're on a fair playing ground, same thing. The reason why I'm doing this so much with the bandito bug is because I feel like this is their staple, because this is what everybody talks about. Same jig. Same jig head. I'm going to put it back on the bandito bug. Same exact way. It fell. So my point I'm trying to make is these baits don't float. They sit there on the bottom, sitting there. See how my flutter is so nice. And when it's going up, it'll float. The density of it goes. So, I'm going to take these same things right now that we have. I'm going to put them right here, because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm using wet lures for this or whatnot. I don't care. Now, here comes the magic. Let's do a break test. We're going to start with you, the old Slim Shake. Let's see this. Watch my hands coming in. That thing looks identical to the way a Senko does when it breaks. I'm breaking at the thick part. It's breaking. It's breaking really easy. Okay? Let's take one of our fruit worms. It's going. Finally breaks. Let's do it again. And it finally breaks. Now that's a worm. Worms, they break easy. Now, I'm not going to test flanges, because flanges break, you know, i.e. it's simple. It's every bait. I'm not trying to work about that. So here is a crack and crawl against the Gray Brothers crawl. To make this kind of easy, because this damn thing's got some slime on it, I'm going to dry it off a little bit. Now, coming up there, a little tougher than that worm. Let's see again. It's breaking, and it's looking just like Gary's baits. Let's see mine. Where is my? Oh, there it is. Let me dry mine off too, because it's all this water. And I don't want anybody to think I'm slipping. Gray Brothers. I just finally broke the head off because it's real thin. But I'm testing the body. It ain't breaking. And that's right where the hook is. Now, this damn thing, bandito bug. Write this thing on it. Let's see how it does. It's pretty tough. I'm not going to count that head. Like I said, I think that's the same thing going on with flanges. I'm really putting pressure on these. Let's go ahead and put that bandito bug right there in the middle again. There it went. Real easy. Let's go with our bucktail. Here's our bucktail. Like I said, I ain't worried about the flanges. I'm more worried about the base. That's where the hook is. See that stretch? Oh, broke right there at the head. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about this base. You ready again? The thing is tough. So, my opinion is, these guys got good marketing. My baits cost $4. Their baits cost $7. Yeah, they got all the marketing, the clamshell, some slime that makes it really slippery to put on a hook. It's pretty hard unless you dry it off properly. My baits are not made by somebody else. They're made by me. Literally me. They have somebody else. I think they're made in America. Let me see, because they got to write that somewhere here. I want to show you this for you good old country boys out there. If you read that label in very, very small, made in China. I'm telling you right now, my stuff is made in America. I don't mind anything being made where it needs to be, but mine is made in America by an American, and it always will stay that way. If you guys can come up with any other baits, any other brands, just go ahead and message us on Gray Brother Lure Company right there on Facebook, or hashtag Gray Brothers Lure Company on Instagram, and I'll be glad to test any other one in the tank of truth. If anybody else has homemade baits they want me to try against them, I don't mind, because I will give them a very fair thing. But I'll tell you this, $8, $7, whatever they are for sure, I ain't doing it. Shit, Zoom is made in America. Gary's are made in America. Rage is made in America. Those are made in China. I ain't buying it. Go ahead and hit us.